Rejoice, everyone. We're back with another Sekhie Reacts to Fate.
I mean, technically, it's time for another Sekhie Knick-Knack Reacts to book reports.
Yes, yeah, continuing the long trend we've had over the last few months. Sekhie, once again, read an entire-ass epic.
Two
entire-ass epics.
2 entire-ass epics. As you may be able to tell on screen, today's servant is Minamoto no Yoshitsune.
We'll also be including sections here on Benkei as well as Taira No Kagekiyo.
Yes, which I have info on. This man is also known as Ushiwakamaru. And if you are curious as to what I read when I was researching this, I read 2 books in particular. The first, we've already been introduced to. The Tale of Heike, which we actually met in our last React video. Covers a lot of the thing. This is about the war between Heike and Genji clans. And it involves, a lot of these characters. Now, on a more specific note, I went to great personal lengths to find this. Great personal lengths, right? So, this is Yoshitsune, or Yoshitsune, the Tale of Yoshitsune, Yoshitsune Monogatari, or it's also known as the Gikeki. This is an entire novel, right? Old Japanese novel dedicated to the story of Minamoto no Yoshitsune. This is his entire life story, written out. And guess what? This has been translated out of Japanese twice ever. Once in 2000 into Russian, which would not... Well, I mean, I still could have read it, but arguably... Actually, you know what? There were more copies available in Russian than I was able to find in English. This is the only other translation of it. It's from 1967. And it is published by Stanford. And they sell it for $100. I found it used for $30. But it is an old book. It has not been updated in a very long time. Apparently, they do not feel the need to update it. It does not have a newer edition. It is an old book. It is a good book, but an old one. Are you good?
Just cleaning my glasses.
Okay. Anyway, so that's today's source material. Primary, secondary. Fucking novels over here. You do fucking 300 pages and 600 pages. It's fucking...
We haven't done an off-the-shelf in a while. You really need to hurry up on your end of that.
Fuck off! I'm ready. I don't even know what the next off-the-shelf is. I'm sorry. Oh, is it?
At the time of recording this is not the next one for you guys.
Yeah, that's not what you guys are going to see. So, with 3 minutes screaming about the books I read, I guess now it's time to get into the story of Ushiwakamaru. So, general info, he's born sometime in 1159, and he lives until June 15th, 1189. He's a general of the Heian and early Kamakura periods and an accomplished samurai, and he is notably the half-brother of Minamoto no Yoritomo and Noriyori. You'll recognize Yoritomo as the first shogun. Hey! Names we've heard before. We actually mentioned Yoritomo in Tamamo, if I'm not incorrect. It may have only been briefly, but I did mention it. Anyway, so, early life. So he's born to Minamoto Yoshitomo, who lived 1123 to 1160. So his dad died a year after he was born, or within the year of his birth. His father supported the Taira in the Hogen disturbance in 1156 that we talked about in the Tamamo video. And his father and 11 of his relatives were put to death, and he and his father and his brothers were killed trying to defy the Taira during the Heiji rebellion in 1159. This is the Genpei War. These events are detailed in the Heike Monogatari. So, he and his siblings were spared, and he was sent to Karama Temple on Mount Hiei near Kyoto. Here he would be taught by, according to the version you read, either Sojobu, the king of the Tengu, or steal the Book of Six Secret Teachings.
Now say that 5 times fast.
No, I couldn't say it once slow. Of Kichi Hogen.
Who we will be covering as a servant on a future date.
Yes, eventually he'd actually leave the mountain following a gold merchant and be taken in by Fujiwara no Hidehira, who will return in this narrative. You know what's interesting enough is I actually had to look this up to make sure, but Gyuki in Nura, Rise of the Yokai Clan, which we reviewed relatively recently.
Yes.
So he's called Ushiwakamaru in that. This is actually an almost identical story. I think that that Ushiwakamaru is based on Ushiwakamaru.
Probably.
I couldn't find any confirmation of it, but the story is so fucking similar that there's no way that it's not at least tangentially based on it. So Yoritomo was sent to the Izu province while Yoshitsune was sent to Mount Hiei originally. And there's not a lot known about his youth beyond like his learning swordsmanship from the Tengu or the King of the Tengu, and some other stuff on Mount Hiei. In May of 1180, Prince Mochihito, who is the son of the cloistered Emperor Go Shirakawa, who we talked about in the Tamamo no Mai episode, urged the Minamoto to rise against the Taira, who were in power at the time. And Minamoto Yorimasa was crushed at the Battle of Uji, and Mochihito was then killed in June. That sucks. But the seeds were sown and the rebellion had started. In September, Yoritomo raised an army in Kanto, and Noriyori and Yoshitsune joined in the last major conflicts of the Genpei War. June 2nd, 1183, their cousin Yoshinaka would win a victory against the Taira in Kurihara, and in August he would occupy Kyoto and assume leadership of the Minamoto clan. Yoritomo was like, nah fam, that's not happening. Yoshitsune, go kill him. Yoshitsune did indeed go and attempt to kill him, but Yoshinaka fled out of cowardice and then committed seppuku.
Never trust someone with Naka in their name.
So Yoritomo then obtained the support of the cloistered Emperor Go Shirakawa, and a mandate to continue the war with the Taira. So that leads us into the period of the war with the Taira. So in March 1184, Yoshitsune and Noriyori went to the western provinces. First they targeted Ichino Tani, which was protected by several outposts, Mikusuyama to the north, and Ikusanomori to the west. Yoshitsune took 10,000 men north, and Noriyori took 50,000 to the east. Yoshitsune launched a surprise night attack on Mikusuyama and won. This is an event detailed explicitly in the Heikei Monogatari. In taking Ichinotani, the Taira panicked and escaped, setting sail with the, at the time, boy emperor Antoku, and Yoshitsune and Noriyori would return to Kyoto in victory. On to page 2. Battle at sea. So Ichinotani victory opened the way for an attack on the Yashimasa headquarters of the Taira. During the intervening time, Yoshitsune would remain in the capital as Yoritomo's deputy and in command of the power there. I believe this is when he may have met Benkei, which we're going to talk about later. In March of 1185, Yoshitsune was authorized to attack Yashima. He assembled a fleet, although some people refused because they were afraid of the weather. But he persisted, landing in Shikoku at dawn. The fighting ensued around Taira ships in the harbor. They broke for dusk, and in the morning, the Taira made for Shido Harbor, regrouping in Hikoshima, while Yoshitsune chose to cross the Suo province. Dawn, April 24th, 1185, Yoshitsune's ships had about, 850 ships to the Taira's 500. The Minamoto sailed against the Taira at Dan no Ura, which is a famous battle in the tale of Yoshitsune. The Taira had the tides in their favor, and victory was uncertain until Taira commander Toguchi Shigeyoshi defected, showing Yoshitsune which ship held the young emperor. The young emperor Antoku and his mother would then drown themselves in the ocean, and the Taira clan was almost eradicated as a result of this battle. So this essentially ends the Genpei War, right? It establishes Minamoto no Yoritomo as the major power, the first shogun of Japan. So post-war, these victories guaranteed Yoritomo's ascendance to shogun, and Yoshitsune was named governor of Iyo and given other titles by Go Shirakawa, but Yoritomo refused to award them to him because he was suspicious. He wouldn't even allow him to enter Kamakura with the prisoners he was bringing back from the Taira. And so he sent the Koshigoe letter expressing his loyalty. I'm sure we're going to mention that in the servant. If we don't, I would be very disappointed because I've got a choice quote from it somewhere here later. It was amazing. So in mid-November, Yoshitsune got Go Shirakawa's permission to go to war with Yoritomo. He allied himself with another Minamoto, Yukie, and attempted to flee when a large army approached from Kamakura, but they were attacked. His mistress, Shizuku Gozen, who was pregnant, at first fled with him, but was later taken into custody by Yoritomo. And he ended up in Mutsu with his old guardian, Fujiwara no Hidehira. As I said, Hidehira was going to return again. So in 1187, Hidehira would die. And two different versions of this, typically. Either he tries to make Yoshitsune the governor and his son Yasuhira objects, or Yasuhira inherits but gave into the pressure from Yoritomo and attacked and betrayed Yoshitsune. His faithful retainer Benkei would fight for him till the end, and either Yoshitsune would kill his wife and child, or not, and then commit seppuku. Yoshitsune's head was preserved and sent to Yoritomo. It's said that later in life, when Yoritomo suffered fatal injuries falling from his horse, he swore that the ghost of Yoshitsune had startled him into falling off of his horse. Which is honestly hilarious.
I would be that petty.
Right? So the Koshigoe letter. I've got a little excerpt here that I thought was really interesting. So here I remain, vainly shedding crimson tears. I have not been permitted to refute the accusations of my slanderers, or to set foot in Kamakura, but have been obliged to languish idly these many days, with no possibility of declaring the sincerity of my intentions. It is now so long since I have set eyes on his lordship's compassionate countenance, that the bond of our blood brotherhood seems to have vanished. That's pretty meaningful. He's not happy. So, some small rumors and legends about him. According to Ainu accounts, he did not commit seppuku and die. Instead, he fled to Hokkaido, assuming the name Okikurumi, or he sailed to mainland and became Genghis Khan, which is a legend invented by Suematsu Kencho in 1879 while he was studying at Cambridge University to improve Japanese prestige in the post-Meiji Restoration era. This is ridiculous. I read that and I was like, I can't not.
I promise at this point we have not declared Genghis Khan as Ushiwakamaru in fate yet.
For those who aren't aware, the Ainu are the native peoples of northern Japan. They are, I believe ethnically they have existed longer in Japan than what we would currently consider the Japanese population. And at times they have been subject to a lot of restrictions by the government.
Every time the Russians, the Koreans, and the Japanese argue over islands, remember it belongs to the Ainu, not the Japanese. Nor the Russians, nor the Koreans.
That's actually probably true in every case. So, associated characters, events, etc. Things that you gave me to look up or I thought needed a little bit of further explanation. Mm-hmm. So, we're going to start with Benkei.
My boy.
Yep, Benkei. So, born in about 1155 and living till 1189, he was a Japanese warrior monk who lived in the late Heian period. He was originally a monk who became a mountain ascetic, who became a rogue warrior, who then served Minamoto no Yoshitsune. There's variable birth stories. Father was the head of a temple shrine, or a blacksmith, or a temple god, or a demon. Lots of different birth stories for this dude. So he may have at one point been called Oniwaka, or demon child. He becomes a Buddhist monk really young, and likely used a naginata as a weapon. He's said to have been 2 meters, which is about 6 foot 6 inches tall, at age 17. So he was a large man. He left the monastery to become a Yamabushi, which was a secret sect of mountain aesthetics. He wielded 7 weapons. Masakari, the broad axe, the sword, Kumade, the rake, Nagigama, the sickle, Hizuchi, the wooden mallet, Nokogiri, the saw, Tetsubo, the iron staff, and the Naginata, the Japanese glaive. He traveled through Japan, and he intended... He had this goal of taking 1,000 swords from swordsmen who didn't deserve them. He arrived in Kyoto only missing 1. and he met Yoshitsune one night, and ended up losing to him once, twice, or 3 times, depending on the telling, swearing to serve him until his death faithfully. So that is the story of Benkei. That is most of the important stuff about him. We don't know much about Benkei. He's kind of one of those characters that's not super present in a lot of myths, which is pretty interesting.
If you want to hold off on the other one I told you to look into, Taira No Kagekiyo, we can hold off on that one for a minute.
Why?
That one's going to be at the very end, so...
Well, I've got Genpei War next, and then Kichi Hogan, and then Kagekiyo.
Why don't we cool a little with Kichi Hogan for now, since we'll be revisiting Kichi Hogan much later.
Okay. Alright, cover the Genpei War then?
Sure.
Cool. I figured this was as good a video as any to put it in, since this is literally the story of one of the main players of the Genpei War. And honestly, I have a lot of useless knowledge about Japanese history that really doesn't help me in any of my educational goals, and I feel the need to spread that to other people. So this was a civil war for dynastic control. 9th century CE dynastic shedding removed people from the dynastic lines because the royal family was too large to maintain. It removed individuals given and gave the names Minamoto or Genji or Taira or Heike. That's where we get Heike Monogatari. This created a bitter rivalry between the two families of cast-off royals. So, 1156, the Hogan disturbance pitted Sutoku and Minamoto against Go Shirakawa and Taira. 1160, the Heiji disturbance pitted Minamoto no Yoshitsune versus Taira no Kiyomori, who was the victor. And then 1180 to 1185 was the actual Genpei War, resulting in a Minamoto victory and the beginning of the Kamakura shogunate. Just like the barest basics on Minamoto no Yoritomo. Born in 1147, May 9th, died February 9th, 1199, first shogun of Japan, reigned from 1192 to 99. He established the feudal age in Japan. Most interesting thing about him, in my opinion, is the fact that he married Hojo Masako, who acted as regent after he died, and through her and her ambition, the Hojo family would control the Kamakura shogunate for the next 300 years, basically unchallenged. Which is pretty fucking awesome. Go her. This is like the original Iron Lady. 10 out of 10. I cannot wait for a servant to be made of her. You said no Kichi Hogan.
You can, like, if you want to give a little bit of who Kichi Hogan is, you can, but we don't.
I mean, I don't have much.
Alright.
Cool. Japanese warrior monk from 1100s, mentioned in the Gikeki. Hogan might be an honorific monk name. He's an onmyoji. Sometimes identified with Tengu of Mount Kurama. Sometimes credited with teaching Yoshitsune. Sometimes credited as founder of Kyohashi Ryu, the 8 styles that served as the inspiration for all swordsmanship in Western Japan to this day. So I'll wait on Taira no Kagekiyo until you tell me.
Yes.
Cool. Minamoto no Noriyori, that's the younger brother, lived from 50 to 93. He was the 6th son. Fun fact about him, he comforted Yoritomo's wife in 93 when they thought he might have died, and Yoritomo got really, really suspicious of him, confined him to Izu province, and then killed him on charges of conspiracy. Yoritomo's brothers do not end up going, like, on to live long, fulfilling, and successful lives. Let's be honest here. Okay, I've still got Hitachi Bokaisen. Does that matter?
Yes, actually.
Okay. All right. This was a Buddhist priest of the Onjoji Temple on Mount Hiei. He's named in Genpei Seisui-ki, the rise and fall of Minamoto and Taira clans, which is another epic that I could not get a copy of at the time limit I was on for this. He's also mentioned in Gikeki and Heike Monogatari. He's a retainer of Yoshitsune, much like Musashibo Benkei, said to have survived because he wasn't there when Yoshitsune died. Legend says he became immortal and would tell people of the Genpei War and the legends of Yoshitsune vividly. Rosa and Hayashi wrote in the Honcho Jinjako, the study of Japanese shrines, that in the early Edo period, an old man named Zanmu told people of the Genpei War, and people thought he was Kaison. Fancy, fancy. Shizuka Gozen?
Shizuka?
It's the wife.
I I don't have anything on her. If you want to go over her, you're welcome to.
Cool. Shizuka Gozen, born 1165-ish, died 1211 according to some accounts. She was a court dancer and a mistress of Yoshitsune. She featured largely in the Heike Monogatari and Gikeki, most of the characters here do. Probably born in the Iso district of Aminocho, Tango province. She was one of the 7 princesses of Tango, and mother was Iso no Zenji, also a court dancer. According to the Gikeki, she was one of 100 dancers invited by Go Shirakawa to dance for rain, and her dance was the only one that succeeded. There she met Yoshitsune. When Yoshitsune fled, she was left at Mount Yoshino and captured by Yoritomo, although Hojo Masako prevented her from being executed. She was still pregnant with Yoshitsune's child, and she had a son who was given to her mother. She became a Buddhist nun in Kyoto. In some versions, she was later killed by Yoshitomo along with her son, and in some versions, Masako facilitates her return to court, and then she would later leave again, drowning herself. You vetoed Tomoe Gozen, because that's another servant altogether. So that is all the notes I have, with the exception of Taira no Kagekiyo and Tomoe Gozen.
All right.
Do you feel enlightened by this brief glance at a major period in Japanese history?
No, but I'm kidding. Yeah.
Rude.
Yes. I'm about to get beat with a Harry Potter mug, guys.
No, you're not. I want my drink. My fucking god. I'm not that violent. All the time.
You ready for... So, full disclosure here, Sekhie has seen Ushiwakamaru before.
Oh, wait. Okay, I might have seen them, but I don't remember.
Because I have a distinct feeling we're gonna have a repeat of the conversation Sekhie and I had when we first, when she first saw her.
Where did I see? Oh, is she in Babylonia?
She's in Babylonia.
Oh.
Now, let's get this out of the way. What in the pasties is going on here, and how is this possible?
That is not. Physics... look, physics do not allow for that to be possible without an ungodly amount of double-sided tape.
You've seen up to Babylonia. She's doing all these flips in Babylonia, and that just remains firmly placed there.
Look. I can only conclude that it is gorilla glued down. This is canon in my head. She gorilla glues these flaps down to cover what's necessary. Because this is... You know what the worst part is? I really like the design.
It's just like...
Outside of the fact that she's not wearing a shirt.
Just this part right here.
Yeah, it's just the tab bikini and bikini bottoms. Like, otherwise, this looks really cool.
It looks good until you get to the middle.
Yeah, look at the armor, look at the sword, look at the hair, the feathers.
This makes it look presentable.
Yes, it does.
You just have to ignore what's behind that.
I can almost ignore the hint of ass flesh peeking. Wait. Legal age?
I'm actually not sure what age this is.
I need you to confirm that for me.
I know this is in Ushiwakamaru's younger years, but then again, I don't know what they mean by younger years, so...
Yeah, are we talking pre-18 or post-18?
Try to find out.
Yeah, I feel like this is important here because I cannot fall in love with the character design if the character is 12. Because this is inappropriate for a 12-year-old. Although outside of the bikini situation, the armor and the pants are very reminiscent of samurai costumes in paintings. And extant samurai armor, and the colors are very relatively accurate. I mean, I don't know accessibility. I know accessibility of fabric dye and color in some places in Europe throughout history, but I don't know it in Japan specifically. So I don't know if like purple was like a fabric that would have been like a dye that would have been easily available. I know purple was really expensive to make in Europe, so it probably would be in Japan too.
So I can't confirm it. They never say it. So for now, we're gonna assume Schrodinger's lolicon.
Cool. All right. She needs to cover up.
Like that?
Oh, yeah. Why couldn't we have that? That's great.
We do have that.
I know, but I like that.
There's the sprites.
We need a shirt. See, okay. This is the best of them. So, I wish that we had the structural of this, but the armor pieces of the last one. You know what I mean?
We'll get around to that later, I think.
Okay. Alright.
But required.
Adorable.
I like the face.
It's so cute. It's so adorable. I assume that the feathers in her outfit are a reference to the Tengu.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually,
you know, I was wondering
entirely.
whether or not to include that, because there was the story about Kichi Hogan and then the story about Tengu, and they're separate in some tellings. So I wasn't sure whether I would include the bit about the Tengu, and I'm glad I did.
So this gets a lot less ambiguous later, but as far as where we're covering now, which is not at the point where Kichi Hogan is introduced as a servant and explains what's going on, it's ambiguous what's going on between the two of them, whether or not they both exist, neither existed, or one or the other, or if they were the same.
Okay. Alright, I can accept that.
Alright, so I don't know why that's highlighted and not going away. That's weird.
I don't know.
I didn't highlight that. Huh. Whatever.
Yep. I see they're a rider class.
Yes.
Yes. I'm somewhat surprised by that, to be honest. I think I would have expected a lancer or a sword. Saber. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word for sword user. I would have expected a saber or a lancer, to be honest.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, you know, samurai, taught swordsmanship. I guess, I guess it would have also learned, horseback riding during this period.
That's the thing about Fate Servants is they can be summoned in unorthodox classes you wouldn't expect them in. Like, we just had a bunch of Indian servants over the last year or so that were, like, not the classes they really should have been by Fate's own admission.
That makes sense.
Sometimes it's just what works better for the story they're introduced in.
Okay. I see names I recognize.
Yes. So, Ushiwakamaru here, best way to describe her personality in Fate is like a loyal dog.
I mean, that's pretty accurate to, up until the Koshigoe letter. It's pretty accurate to Yoshitsune IRL, too. I mean, he did everything for his brother. I mean, I'm not saying Yoritomo was not, like, a leader and a warrior, but, like, let's be honest, Yoshitsune is the reason why.
He won?
Yeah, to be quite frank.
Yeah, she's quiet but deadly, very friendly but violent.
Okay.
So
Duality.
yeah.
A binary system, you could say. Remember? Not that one.
In many ways, she's so fiercely loyal. She's kind of like a berserker, and that loyalty is usually pretty unshakable.
Amazing.
And it gets interesting here because this is obvious. This is her younger.
Okay.
So prior to being betrayed by her brother.
Yeah, this is when she was...
Like all servants in Fate, she remembers being betrayed by her brother.
But at the same time, this is her when she was, like, intensely loyal to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which gets interesting when she's drunk.
Oh, does she get maudlin?
It shows in a very, like, weird brother complex kind of way. Like,
Woof.
Woof. Yeah, it's weird.
We do not stand for brother complexes here. No, sir. No.
It's kind of sad, too, because her wish for the Grill is to be able to be reunited with her brother.
Aww.
It's sad and kind of fucked up.
I mean, I personally think that Yoritomo deserves to maybe rot wherever he's fucking rotting, considering that he betrayed at least 2 brothers and turned on at least 2 of his own kin in his quest for power.
Now, I could be wrong because there's a lot of material I haven't read with Ushiwakamaru between interludes, and I might be missing some stuff from the original run of Onigashima that I did read, but that was a long time ago. There is some slight implication that depending on the timeline, it's possible that Ushiwakamaru or Yoshitsune being betrayed was actually decided upon by the two of them together so that he wouldn't be challenged for power.
I mean, maybe, but that's not how it's written in the stories.
No, it's not. That would be a divergence, but it's not.
Speaking of, shout out to whoever annotated my books before I got them. There's some glorious notes.
Again, though, we do have some other information that conflicts with this in Fate. It's nothing more than a potential implication.
Okay.
So her sword, which, let me scroll down here, see if I can catch it.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little... I kind of wish we'd been doing Tomoe Gozen too, because Tomoe Gozen's so cool as a historical character that I'm really excited for that episode now.
Oh, this is... So, she's actually in Fate Requiem. This is her little cooking outfit. Because if you remember, like, sitting in the room when I was doing the Fate Requiem review, Fate Requiem, the servants just get to live as people, more or less. So
I love it.
She's in the story, and she actually has a speaking role. It's kind of fun.
That's adorable.
So her sword is actually called the Usumi Dori.
Okay.
We'll see this again. Because if I got...
Hey, there's a name I know.
Which one do you know?
Minamoto no Raiko.
Yes.
And Sakata Kintoki.
This is Minamoto no Raiko's sword in Fate as well, so it will... The Usumi Dori will be back.
Yep, that's a big episode. That's a honkin' boy.
Yes. But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure this is the way it is in actuality, or at least is what they claim. Minamoto no Raiko in Fate is the ancestor to Yoshitsune.
Yeah, Minamoto.
Yeah.
The clan name. Yeah.
So ability-wise, she's actually got a lot of abilities you'll recognize.
Okay,
Here.
I mean, yeah, I see magic resistance,
You have
riding.
Tengu's Art of War here, which another call to that Tengu.
Yeah, anecdote of having learned Arts of War from Tengu. Yeah. Swordsmanship. Feet of the Swallow. That has to do with the Tengu. Oh, that's the bridge story. Right, so, I didn't mention it specifically, but it's said that Yoshitsune met Benkei on a very specific bridge in Kyoto. The Gojo Ohashi Bridge. And that's where they fought. I wasn't sure if it was important or not, so I didn't mention that it was specifically a bridge, but yeah.
So, yeah. And I don't have a lot to say of their skills, because a lot of them, outside of the Tengu's Art of War and the Feet of the Swallow...
Pretty chill.
Yeah. What you would expect.
Yeah.
Her Noble Phantasm, though, is, this is their big claim to fame. I'm just gonna click into this. So her Noble Phantasm's The Wandering Tales of Shauna O.
Yeah. Okay, after they travel to Oshu, that's... Okay.
It's pretty much 5 different Noble Phantasms.
Yeah, I saw one of them, which I mentioned in my history lesson. The Dan no Ura.
Yep.
I saw one of them. Now I'm curious about the other 4.
So we'll go into these in order that they have listed here.
Cool.
So the first one's the Eye of Shiva, detecting the 6 secret teachings.
I would wonder if that has to do with the Kichi Hogan.
Potentially.
Because, just gonna double check. Yeah, that is the Book of 6 Secret Teachings of Kichi Hogan.
Yep.
So, yes.
Yes.
Very much so. He was a Buddhist monk. So, Shiva.
Makes sense.
Buddhism. Yep.
I don't have a lot on the lore of these individually, but this first one here allows her to basically relocate people on the battlefield, or at least have the ability to manipulate them around.
Okay.
The second one here, the Usumi Dori, Heavenly Blade Steps.
So that's the swordsmanship technique she would have learned from the King of the Tengu.
Yeah.
Yeah, or alternatively, was a Sojobu or the other one that I named. Yeah.
Benkei.
Yeah, steadfast position. Musashibo Benkei.
This is partly derived from the story of Benkei where he died standing
literally died standing up defending Yoshitsune's escape.
Yeah, so she can summon basically a lifeless clone of him to defend her.
Dan no Ura, 8-boat leap.
Yep. That's the primary one, the one we're going to see a little bit more in detail later.
Yep.
This one is, it just allows Ushiwakamaru to jump across even, like, very large surfaces.
Yeah.
Or very far surfaces from each other. The Hoemaru, the Spider Slayer.
Okay.
This is just a remnant of one of the Usumi Dori's true power that from Minamoto no Raiko.
Yep.
It grants the sword property in repelling demons because that was Minamoto no Raiko's big mythological story, was fighting Oni.
Okay.
This is a 7th technique, actually.
Oof.
Secret.
Kenjo.
Yes. It's...
Tsurada.
It's probably not even a real technique. It's just Ushiwakamaru showing off by leaping off Benkei and attacking in a violently spinning motion.
Spinning attack.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But she includes it amongst these anyways.
I mean, I'm a big fan. These are, with the exception of 1 or 2, these are pretty fucking rooted in like the actual history. I'm not finding anything I'm disagreeing with, and honestly, I mean, this is maybe the least objectionable version of her in this art, where there's no titty coverage because her arm's covering it, so you can almost
at the right
pretend.
angles, you can kind of miss the fact that it's actively looter than most swimsuits we've covered.
You can almost pretend that she's wearing a crop top and booty shorts instead of 2 flaps and a bikini bottom. You can almost pretend. I'm a big fan of this with the samurai armor. I have a sneaking suspicion as to that 4th art you showed me now, and something I saw on the last page, but I'm gonna hold my suspicion until I know if I'm right or not.
I don't have a lot on Ushiwakamaru left. Did you want to?
I have to say, I like the design. I'm a big fan of the.
I mean, the part that you weren't sure if I was going to be covering.
Oh, I saw. I noticed when we were on the other part of the Wikia that up at the top, where normally it gives like all the different versions of a servant. I did catch that Taira No Kagekiyo was there.
Yeah.
And there's a 4th version in a totally different outfit, so I was like, maybe is that another version?
We'll get into looking at this one.
I'm curious because I do like that 4th outfit. I do a lot because she's covered.
Is Ushiwakamaru's animations and NP. We'll watch a few of the animations like we've been doing.
Yeah. Don't suppose she dabs.
We might need to mute that. I'm gonna go back. You wanna wait a second because that was
mute the video from here on. That was less than 10 seconds. Mute it from here on.
Because that was anime music.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just mute it from here on.
One of my favorite tracks from the anime, but also we don't need that. We don't need that.
I mean, yeah, copyright's not fun. We don't want to. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Spinning attack. A lot of sword fighting.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Makes you wonder why she's a writer when not one of her animations uses the fucking horse.
I mean, not gonna lie, with the dynamism of her action and the way we're kind of like seeing her at an angle, you can genuinely almost forget she's in
a bikini.
Tit flaps. Yeah, a bikini is being generous. A bikini would be like No.
Here's the NP.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, Dan no Ura. The famous battle. Oh! Slice, slice, motherfucker.
All right, we're going to close out of that before we get copyrighted. And yes, on to our next subject. Ushiwakamaru is somehow more covered up in the summer form.
Also looks older.
Yes.
Is that a thing?
I don't know if that's intent. So Ushiwakamaru was drawn... If you look, because you probably noticed, like, let's click back here for a second. This is why I'm so confused with Ushiwakamaru's age, because, like, this looks young.
Okay,
But then let's click into the sprite here. That doesn't look, like, the face is less pudgy, a little bit taller in stature. They basically drew Ushiwakamaru differently post-animation update for the sprite.
Yeah.
So this is the newer sprite. But her old design looks
is much younger.
So it's kind of confusing as to whether or not what her actual age is supposed to be.
Ah, ambiguity, thou art not our friend.
I guess if we go down here in her sprites, they probably have her old sprite listed too.
Yeah, I'm curious now.
Old sprite. Do they have the old sprite?
Isn't it right there? No, go down. Isn't it those?
Oh yeah,
right there. Yeah.
This is her old sprite.
Oh yeah, that's much more childlike. But
this is also a thing with FGO where all the characters.
Boobs.
All the characters were kind of designed a little weirdly.
Yeah.
Like, there's a few characters that are still kind of designed with that short, chibi-ish looking art style.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. The elongation of the limbs really gives the illusion of age.
Yeah. So it's... Ushiwakamaru is a little confusing there, because it looks like the card art is still in that same style from the old one.
Cool.
But yeah, getting back to Summer Ushi right here.
Yeah, this is unobjectionable. She looks older, and she's very covered up.
Like, why is the summer form more modest than the normal one?
So much of her is covered up. I'm not used to it. Even in this, there's a lot covered up. I love it. That's so cute. That's so fucking cute. Aww. Yeah. No, this is adorable. I love this.
So we can go back here to the Type Moon page, because this will be this one right here.
Yeah, this is great.
So this was a result of a trip to a bastardization of the Hawaiian Islands.
Okay. Alola region, anyone?
More so, and more purposely done. Ushi adopts this swimsuit, and when she's like this, she brings herself closer to a Tengu, which we did mention before.
Yep. Tengu on Mount
Than
Kurama.
she was before. So she's saying she's fighting more like she would as a Tengu.
Nice.
I already mentioned, we brought up that she learned it from the Tengu and the Kichi Hogan stuff. That stuff we'll cover at a future date.
Okay.
But this is the result of her learning from them.
Okay.
This Ushiwakamaru is actually an assassin, if you didn't catch that already.
I did not. I didn't even look.
So she has like the usual assassin abilities here, like her presence concealment. Mm-hmm. She also has the riding still.
Yep. Except for dragons.
Yep. And then
animal communication, Tengu's art of play, yeah, heaven sent child of Kurama. Yep. Mountains of Kurama.
Let me see.
Nice.
Sorry, the summers, it's always a little bit weirder for me.
Oh, that's what I thought. That was a fan. Interesting. So the noble phantasm is Tengu's feather fan, and I saw the fan in the last design of her art.
I guess Ushi's like movement and fighting style here can only be described as mountain parkour.
I mean, that's valid, you know? Training on a mountain with people who have wings. You really gotta learn how to handle that.
So her NP here is called the Tengu's Feather Fan.
Yep.
Click into here.
Reenactment. Oh, okay. Alright.
Allows her flight as well as being able to
cool. Yeah.
do shit.
Yeah, is whimdy. Is whimdy. Are we allowed music on this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This is the game soundtrack.
Oh, I love the background. Look at the fan and the pose. The power, the presence, the pose. It's actually fun animations. I like these a lot. They're creative. I could be a Tengu on the beach, too. Nice. I approve. Sekhie stamp of approval. I'm going to choose to believe that this one is older. Because she looks older in the art.
Look, we know that either way they are still, or she is still a warrior. So whatever age she is, she was at least fighting a war by this point.
Okay, that is not a valid... You fucking... No. There were times when you could join the war effort at like 16. That is not a legal adult. The fact that we can join the army at 18 in the US now, but we still can't drink till 21 is fucking ridiculous. Make it one or the other.
Oh yeah. I almost forgot about this form.
You've got another Ushiwakamaru for me.
Yep. So,
God, I had a terrible thought about this one. I'm not gonna express that thought. Also, you wanna... Okay.
So I won't go into the plot details on this, but Ushiwakamaru at some point is captured and turned into what's called a child of Tiamat.
Okay.
Creating Ushiwakamaru Alter or her berserker form.
Oh, okay. So berserker form.
Or Ushiwakamaru Blackened.
Okay.
Now...
Wait, do I see this in Babylonia?
You haven't seen it yet.
Okay. But
so
I will.
this is spoilers for Babylonia.
Well, look. I'm going to watch Babylonia in the next 6 months. It's fine.
The notable thing about her here is that how she's normally trusting and reserved. Normally, or unlike normally here, she's not. Throw any like loyal dog things aside. This is her just angry at the world for everything that happened to her, everything that happens later.
Valid.
And while she has,
that's how Tiamat corrupts her.
While she has a good level of intellect on her, she's still going to argue. Mm-hmm. She's driven purely and wholly by a desire to kill humans.
Awesome. Adorable. I love it.
Ability-wise, she's the same mostly as her writer counterpart. The biggest difference here is that she has a new ability where she can copy and multiply herself within Tiamat's Sea of Life. And the more she does this, the more she falls into her anger and hatred and humanity, or at humanity, as she grows closer to Tiamat.
Cool.
That's all I've got on her. And
angry
yes,
murder lolly.
There are unfortunate implications in the design from a Western standpoint.
Cool. All right.
We're going to go ahead and leave that behind now.
Cool.
This is not the first time nor the last time Japan has done this.
Does this version have a April Fool's?
No.
Cool.
Benkei!
Naginata!
Yes.
Tall boy. Mountainous tall boy. Oh, look! All the weapons that I named. Literally all of them.
Look, you in the campaign.
Don't be mean.
You guys don't understand. The campaign, I forgot to account for weapon weight, and I just didn't realize Sekhie was bringing across, or she was grabbing all of the weapons she found and just holding on to them the entire time.
I do. I am essentially a porcupine of bladed weaponry. Yes, and I do in fact use a lance and a bow, primarily. And a sword. Yeah, there's all of his weapons. I love it. The chisel, the eyes, the power, the presence, the pose. Also, he kind of looks like an oval with legs. I'm a fan.
So, you mentioned before, Benkei is the brave warrior monk that protected Ushiwakamaru's retreat and was very loyal to Ushiwakamaru.
Yep. Originally a monk, and then a mountain ascetic, and then a rogue warrior.
So, like, you probably expected to see him as a servant.
Yeah.
Now, throw that out. He's not a servant.
Cool. Is he a real person?
So, this isn't Benkei. It's someone who took on Benkei's name, who survived the battle.
What?
So, the person who...
Is this Hitachibo Kaisen?
Hitachibo Kaisen going on to tell future stories. He downplayed his own involvement and upplayed Benkei's.
Aww.
So, over time, he became conflated with Benkei.
Aww, that's actually kind of sweet.
But what that results in is, at least in this form, Benkei isn't summoned. It's Hitachibo with Benkei's achievements.
Okay.
So he's still named Musashibo Benkei. He still goes by that name. He's still, like, primarily trying to push Benkei forward here, not himself.
Okay.
But this, memory-wise and, like, experiences-wise, this is just Hitachibo with Benkei's abilities.
That's hilarious.
Because Hitachibo actually, the reason he survived wasn't just by accident. No, the boy fled. And the reason why he admired Benkei so much is because he heard about Benkei's last stand.
Yeah, loyal to the end.
And then I brought this up with Ushiwakamaru. So Benkei, or we'll keep him calling Benkei here for simplicity. Benkei's wish is to further to the Holy Grail, is to further Benkei's name and make it more eternal and legend.
I don't know, man. Maybe instead of telling the Gikeki, you could have told the tale of Benkei.
Well, Ushiwakamaru still deserves to be the main character of the story.
I know. I'm just joking. You know. You could have, but he could have told the Gikeki and a Benkei story. He could have told both. There's a flaw in your methodology, my friend.
So, abilities-wise, Hitachibo was not as skilled as Benkei.
Okay.
So while he gets some of Benkei's abilities, a lot of it's not as good as if it were actually him.
Yeah. Magic resistance, vengeful spirit exorcism. Cool.
Playing into the Buddhist monk aspect more than the warrior.
Yep. Makes sense. Buddhist priest of the Anjoji temple. Yep. Imposing stance.
Recreating Benkei's final stand, except bad.
Aww. Blank subscription list. What the fuck?
So he can decree bans,
okay.
specifically on Noble Phantasm usage in general.
Oh, nice. Strong.
Though it's got a low success rate.
Attendant of Iron. Oh, that's definitely related to Benkei.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, his NP here is called the Pilgrimage of 500. Do you know how to pronounce that?
Arhat?
Thank you.
Most likely. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
So, basically, Benkei here is forcing people to go to Nirvana with him. It's effectively instant death magic.
Okay.
Because it's like...
Oh, yeah, the purposes of reaching the Pure Land of the West. Yep. Nirvana. That makes sense. Lovely.
We actually have 2 NPs. One from FGO, one from Arcade.
Oh. I like the dual-wielding Naginatas.
Like, Benkei is a pretty underrated servant as far as FGO goes.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. I give a huge props to the guy. There's a guy on YouTube who's leveled him to, like, put all his resources into him, basically.
Hey, look!
And that was the NP.
Nice.
So let's go here.
And we have an arcade! Man's got strong features.
He kind of looks out of place next to a lot of Fate servants.
I was gonna say, rare in Fate, this man is like muscled with a very strong face. You know what he reminds me of a little bit?
Who?
Herc. You know?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Oh, that looks hella cool. Yeah. That's awesome. That's actually cooler than Ushiwakamaru's NP, to be honest.
I agree.
Yeah, that's a really cool looking NP.
So, one more thing.
Okay.
Benkei
You want to close some tabs?
also has an alternate form.
Yep, I noticed.
Benkei also has a joke. This is not a real form, by the way. This is like a
Okay.
fake form even within FGO. He never actually takes this form.
Okay.
It's more of a memory thing where you're misremembering Benkei as being the one who was blackened instead of Ushiwakamaru. There's no new design. There's nothing special to note here. He is fundamentally the same. His NP just now also deals curse damage. That's it.
Okay.
Not much to say here.
Alright.
So, why don't you give us some introduction on Taira no Kagekiyo?
Alright, so Taira no Kagekiyo was a samurai of the Taira. He was famous for his appearance in the 11th chapter of the Heike Monogatari. He is one of the characters that is one of the people who is captured in the battle at Dan no Ura in 1185. He's actually one of the prisoners that Yoshitsune attempted to bring to the capital and was then rejected entrance with. And he eventually starves himself to death in Kamakura in 1196. Committing suicide that way. think he is the son of one of the Fujiwaras, which is interesting. Because, Fujiwara no Hidehira took in Yoshitsune originally. Yeah. Once again, not much known, as you can tell by the fucking...
So let's go into the design for Taira no Kagekiyo. This will look familiar.
Is it just covered up Ushiwakamaru? Yeah. Oh, that's very familiar. But hold on. Somehow, still more socially acceptable. I like this.
You don't have to dance around it. This one's clearly an adult.
Yes, this one's I like this. I'm a fan of this. I'm a big fan of this.
So, let me explain. Taira no Kagekiyo here. Yes, what we're seeing here is a let's make Ushi evil again.
Okay.
But this is... So, Taira no Kagekiyo also, for us simpletons, is known as Avenger Ushiwakamaru.
Okay.
But this is because Kagekiyo actually is a vengeful ghost that can pass between enemies of the Minamoto clan.
Oh.
Seeking to see them... and then it takes possession of them, and then they work with the ghost to try to kill the Minamoto clan.
Yeah, because his goal was to take the head of Minamoto no Yoritomo.
Yep.
Yeah, and give it to the head of the Taira clan.
In fact, fate posits that Taira no Kagekiyo may have only been one of the ghost's hosts. Like this is called Taira no Kagekiyo. That might not have been the first of this particular ghost.
Interesting.
It might have just taken advantage of Taira no Kagekiyo. Originally.
I appreciate the fact that the ghost like took possession of Ushiwakamaru's body, right, and was like, nah, shirt on.
That or Ushiwakamaru gained sense at an older age.
Yeah. One of the two. Either way, I appreciate, because I can thirst over this character. This is hot.
So, fate even posits that Taira no Kagekiyo might not have even died by starving themselves to death. They might have just escaped.
Yeah, I saw that, but there's very little evidence for it because it's pretty well recorded historically that he died via starvation. Basically a form of suicide, but yeah.
Look, rumors are best lore.
It's true. It's very true.
At the time of reading this, I haven't read Heian-kyo, by the way. I know this is coming out post Heian-kyo, and by the time you're seeing this, I will have read it. Feel free to roast me in the comments section. I will agree with you.
It's really funny when you say rumors are a great base for lore, because the toilet. Yeah.
So, the reason why... Because Ushiwakamaru, or Yoshitsune, dies normally.
Yeah.
Not much of an opportunity after being betrayed to gain a grudge against the Minamoto clan as it currently stands.
No.
This is because this is only possible, to my knowledge, because this is actually Ushiwakamaru in a lost belt, which we've brought up before, the alternate histories.
Yeah. Ivan.
Either Yoritomo dies or Yoritomo is revived and then given the ghost.
You mean Yoshitsune?
Sorry, Yoshitsune.
I was going to say, because Yoritomo does die.
And upon revival...
Also, there's the story about Yoritomo dying after seeing the vengeful ghost of his brother Yoshitsune. I see what you did there, Fate. I see it. I acknowledge it.
And, being revived after being betrayed by your brother, no other reason, no better reason to hate the Minamoto clan after that.
Valid.
So she takes on the ghost of Kagekiyo and becomes the Avenger servant.
Valid. 100%. Understandable. Have a day.
So Kagekiyo here is actually extremely hard to kill, as there is a total of... hang on.
So in terms of, let's see, skills. We've got Avenger, okay, Oblivion, Correction, Self-Replenishment, Genji, Prithee Die. Genji, Minamoto. It's two names for the same clan. Taira no Kagekiyo will kill the Genji. So that's a direct reference. Also, Prithee Die. It's a little funny that they're using, Shakespeare-era language. Kagekiyo never dies.
So I might have this wrong, but I'm pretty sure Kagekiyo, because of the 37 previous Kagekiyos fate posited existed, you have to kill this servant 37 times.
amazing. Yeah, there's a reference there to the 37 times and the kabuki play. By the way, I didn't mention any kabuki, but the Genpei War, the Heike Monogatari, and the Gikeki are the subject of countless kabuki plays. Like, this is one of the most popular stories to do kabuki plays about in Japan. Like, overall. It's actually pretty amazing. I actually looked up a few on YouTube. They were fascinating to watch. There's some really interesting stuff about costume changing, too. And Mist of Azamaru. Katana. Okay.
So, we have two noble phantasms here.
Okay.
The first one's called
That's
Azamaru.
the sword's name. Yeah.
Yeah, and the second one's called All Things Must Flourish to Fall.
All things must pass. To flourish is to fall.
That's right, thank you. So yes, Azamaru is the sword.
Okay, so this is... Alright. There's a T.H.E. Okay, passed down in the Taira family. In times of peace, it takes the form of the twin swords, Azamaru, but returns to the form of one single T.H.E. Interesting. Well, as long as she remains Yoshitsune, she would not let any harm come to her master. Interesting.
And all things must pass. To flourish is to fall.
Yeah.
So,
a cursed attack slammed at the enemy with a sword infused in the grudges of the Taira clan. Oh, boy.
all right, you ready to see this?
Hang on. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Can only be fully comprehended by a Genji. That's metal as fuck. Ooh, the twin swords of Azamaru. Yes. She's strong, isn't she?
She's actually very good in game.
Yeah, she's strong.
Unfortunately, she also comes in a line, like, she comes at the start of a very stacked year servant-wise. I really want her, but I'm probably not getting her because I need to get so many other things this year.
I don't know, man. Hot. I'm a fan. I like this version much better. Yeah. I mean, pretty basic sword animations, but like, it's swords. You can... There's not too much you can do with swords. They are... Genji, pretty die. Oh boy. Oof.
Let's see. I wonder when we're... I'll just skip us to the NP at this point.
There you go. Oh. Well, that's cool as shit with the like the eye shades, like fucking hell. Yes. Coming to you live from 6 weeks after we originally recorded this video, because it hasn't gone up yet, so we can still make edits.
Welcome to the first episode of Knick Knack Doesn't Want to Be Dated on Arrival, something he tried to do with the Mihoyo announcement, but failed miserably.
So we actually recorded this video, like, I want to say 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like, it was a while ago.
This was one of our last recordings before we went on a little bit of a hiatus on recording these.
Yeah, but apparently a new form came out, and we'd rather, since I haven't edited the video yet, we would rather cover it now than wait till the updates video in a month and a half-ish.
So this is not an FGO.
Okay, so this is not in Fate Grand Order yet. All right. So is this in an anime?
No. So, Type Moon, and you might have seen me playing this. In fact, you might have seen me playing this with people on TV before. Type Moon is a fighting game mostly tied to the Tsukihime franchise called Melty Blood. About a week back, when we're recording this, it'll be about a couple months back, they announced 2 FGO characters got added as DLC for free in that game.
Okay.
One of them was Ushi.
Do I get to know who the other one was?
I guess I could tell you. It'll appear later. You don't get to see him now, but the other servant that appeared that got added was the Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, we'll go ahead and just... They have like a little... Kind of like our FGO things, a little convenient little battle preview here.
All right.
First off,
I
new
love
design. They actually gave her a shirt.
Oh yeah, she's wearing a. I was wondering.
And shorts.
Something was missing. I was.
That was the reason I was like, oh, I need to show you this now. They changed the design up, and when this came out, I found out a little detail. Apparently, that skimpy design was because early in FGO, and I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, you're welcome to fact check me in the comments. They had a design probably closer to this in FGO, but one of the lead artists in FGO was like, I feel like we could make that more skimpy. So what they did is they just took off the shirt and pants. So this might actually be a little bit more faithful to the original intent.
I like this better. I mean, I love Ushi's design, but I like this. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better.
そこは一宿一飯のぐらいにしておきなさい。
Interesting. She is a strong sword user. Nice. Oh, I see. Available December 5th.
Yeah, that was 2 days ago.
I see the problem. I see why you wanted me to add this. Yes.
Because if we didn't do this, every comment in the next video would be, "Did you see the new Melty Blood version of her?" Especially when we're commenting on her design.
Yeah.
Like you get a more full body version of that here.
Yeah, and I do like the addition of the shorts. I think it looks better because of it. To be honest. Yeah.
So one thing that's not covered here, that's in Melty Blood, is there's actually one, like you saw one of the supers there, like a smaller super. There's also a second super that they don't cover in that. Let me see if I can look, because it's in here. Well, I assume these are just both super, so we'll... So this is the first super. You saw this in the trailer.
Yeah.
This is the second super.
Oh. Oh, that looks really good. Yeah, that looks really good.
And then, just because finished it out, and this is one other thing the comments might bring up, there's a bit of a new outfit. This is spoilers for the end of Ushi's campaign in Melty Blood.
Okay.
Because Tsukihime and Fate Worlds are not supposed to be truly connected. I kind of explained that a while when we're doing vampire shit.
Yeah.
But Ushi, a version of Ushi, ends up getting stuck in the Tsukihime world at the end of her campaign.
Okay.
So she ends up going to school, so you have schoolgirl Ushi.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I really like that design. It's very cute.
So yeah, that has been a taste of our updates video. I just didn't want to add this to the updates video because A, it's too long, and B, everyone would bitch about it in the meantime in the comments.
Yeah, I could see where it would happen, but...
So that's Taira No Kagekiyo.
Hell yes.
Let's get into some CEs here. We'll start with the regular Ushiwakamaru. This is actually a pretty old servant, so we actually might have a ton of these.
Oof.
So, expression sheets, saint graphs, icons, others. Oh, she has the figures.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a command code here. It actually hides her design really well.
I know, it's very cute. I like... Oh, it's in her later design. Where she's covered. She has a shirt in this design. This is the fourth.
She?
This is the fourth stage. It's the sleeves.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's this?
Oh.
Oh, that's fucking
awesome. That's stunning.
I've never seen this before.
Oh my goodness. And look, it basically hides the issue with the chest.
I almost feel like that was something because the other versions of her they did later don't have that.
Yeah,
where's that? That was regretted.
There's the two more illustrations there.
Oh, that just gave me
Benkei. You clicked on the. Oh what? Nope. I guess it's an art from him. Just ignore it then. What about the last one? Oh, that's pretty. I like that. That's very pretty.
Who's Ushiwakamaru's artist again? I feel like...
I don't know. The eyes looked familiar, though. What? Is it the same person as Sei?
Interesting.
Have I seen someone by them before? Because the eyes looked so familiar.
Technically no, but technically yes. So we haven't seen any in this React series.
Okay.
But this artist did pretty much all of the new characters from Case Files. So, like, they did Gray, Rhaenys, and Faker.
Okay.
Who you have seen them in the Case Files.
I've seen them, yeah, in the anime.
All right, let me check Benkei now.
Okay.
Benkei's artist also did Penthesilea.
Oh.
Okay.
Interesting. Oh, you know what? The muscle shading.
Yeah. That artist really likes muscles.
The muscle shading is similar.
All right, so we're back. Sorry if you have to cut a chunk of that.
When do I not have to cut a chunk of shit?
All right, let's pull up these.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
Thankfully, when we get to Benkei, we'll probably get to cut a good amount of these.
Yeah. All right.
So, the
Usumidori. That's the sword. Yeah, the sword that beheaded the earth spider and exterminated monsters, now slays men and steals lives. This is the sword of Minamoto no Raiko. Oh no, I would not ask much. I would merely ask it be capable of taking 100 heads in one swing. See, taking the lives of one person at a time is so bothersome. I agree. Okay,
we've seen that.
Yeah.
Another servant in the pack there. Where's Ushi here?
There,
Ushi.
yeah, I see it. Well, that looks good. I mean, you know, despite answering the call of the Grand Order, a servant is summoned. There will be a future at the end of the road. This is why the talented young warrior will not look back and dash full speed ahead. It's nice. It, you know, that's a lot of titty. Oh, it's a chocolate Usumidori. Alright, please have some of this. The taste is as sharp as can be. If you'd like, we can go chop some heads together sometime. Yes, Ushi, I would love that.
Ushi, the murder puppy.
I mean... Oh, this is that art we liked.
Yeah.
The Wandering Tales of Shanao. At the Genpei Battle of Dan no Ura, Yoshitsune swiftly sprang from boat to boat. The quick footwork is reminiscent of a young Ushiwakamaru. Yes. This is good. This art looks almost as good as that one we just saw, the really beautiful one.
So this at least confirms that the design is as Ushi would have looked during the Battle of Dan no Ura.
Okay, so this version would have been of age, adult. Yeah. Cute! Calf plug!
Calf plug, mash, and then Ushiwakamaru.
Yeah. If a samurai is starving, he'll pretend he's full by playing with a toothpick, but a man can't fight with an empty stomach. So before we slay some oni, let's relax and enjoy a meal. I'll have, of course, the delicious millet dumplings, and once our bellies are full, we'll be off to Onigashima. I love it. I don't know who that is. I can see her in the background, but I don't know who's in the foreground.
Close your eyes and I'll see if we know this one.
Half the time it doesn't spoil it, and you still make me close my eyes.
No fucking way.
What?
So that is someone we know.
Can I open my eyes?
Yeah. That's fucking... You want to take a guess?
No. Hold on. Blonde-ish. That is blonde, right? Is that Meb?
No.
Hold on. Red eyes. Oh, red eyes. Red fucking eyes. Who was the hot lady with red eyes? I know there was one. I remember mentioning the fucking red eyes. I give up.
This is Florence Nightingale.
Ah! It was the red eyes.
Like, I don't recognize her because this is not how you usually see her drawn.
No! Is there any description of this? Oh, wow. A big one. Interesting. Sharks, jellyfish, heat stroke. Go down a little. Oh! So first is Ushiwakamaru, expert at sailing the rescue ship, the Babbage, but keep it secret that she's faster jumping across the water. Next is Jack.
Jack Dipper is somewhere in there.
I think she was right next to Ushi. Really small. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there she is.
Yeah. She's the best at treating any injury. Call her right away if you're attacked by sharks. Tonight we'll have shark fin soup. Jesus fucking Christ. Last is Nightingale. She can basically do anything, but she overdoes it completely. You'd think she'd give CPR to resuscitate someone, but instead she grabs the heart directly. But she ain't getting on no plane, fool. I just have this horrible image of her jumping through someone's chest and just forcibly pumping the heart manually. Is that not what you imagine when you hear that? Just beat.
You could do CPR, or the person can cut your chest open, grab your heart, and pump manually.
No. She doesn't cut it open. She just grabs it. Oh, yeah, heroic formal dress. Special outfits. It's very cute. I like this. Yeah.
They're in Benkei.
They're eating. What's going on, Musashibo? Are you slowing down? I am not. I can keep going. Jesus fucking Christ. That is an exact replica of some of our conversations when eating. Under the same sky, in this, our world. Our fleeting moments are beautiful because one day they will end. Our choices are valuable because we cannot change them. Always remember the journey we have taken, for our story will live on in your heart always. That's actually really, really sweet. I like that a lot. Also, that under the same sky, in this, our world, that's this last year's.
No, this was... So that was this year's anniversary, yes, for NA.
Yeah.
For JP, this was 2 years ago.
Yeah, but for NA. Because, like, I recognize that from a couple of other sermons we've done recently.
Yeah, because Under the Same Sky was...
in this, our world.
I think I said this in a previous Reacts already, but Under the Same Sky, that was the COVID year, 2020.
Yeah, it also has some of the best art so far, in my opinion, for anniversaries.
They were really trying to go hard prior to COVID. They actually, like, rented out, like, this famous... I forget what it's called, but this famous Japanese, like... convention space that they would or not even convention, I think just a place to do the event at that they were doing this for, and they had to cancel it.
Oof.
So they were really going all out on the 5th anniversary.
Yeah, it's really pretty. Heroic Spirit Tour. So this is the 6th anniversary one. Since today is the day to be celebrated, think back of the path that you have walked with the heroic experience, and then we will continue on our way towards a new and exciting journey. These are cute. I like them. I like them a lot.
So now we're at Summer Ushi. Probably not going to be as many outside of maybe an appearance in some Summer CEs here, but we'll see.
I'm just looking. I really like her third design, I have to admit.
The fan, and what's this one look like?
It's the same one you showed us before. Oh, no, it's not. It's a different one. Yeah, swimsuit.
Oh, and then I think this is her pixelated look.
Ugh.
So there was actually one, I see the 8-bit. There was one April Fool's that we couldn't find. I found it, but because it was so new, it was only the pixelated at the time.
Ah, interesting. Okay, so there's only 3.
We'll go through all these.
The second one is going to spoil another servant for me.
Close your eyes. I'll take a look.
From the name.
Yeah, this one will spoil
Close
stuff.
That one.
Okay, go ahead.
Cool. Acting like Tengusa. like a set of equipment for it. There's the wings, there's the jingling staff thing, the balls, the fan, the mask, the clothing and stuff. In the Western Mountains, someone was bullying innocent wildlife. Hearing the animals cry for help, the great Tengu of Kurama leaps into action. Why, you insolent human, throwing rocks at a helpless animal? Have you no shame? Take that, Tengu stone. See how you like a taste of your own medicine. See that, Tanukichi? Look at the way that human flees so pathetically, and now they're paralyzed with fear. They're never going to think of hurting animals again. In the Eastern Mountains, someone was cutting down a helpless tree. Hearing the tree's soundless cry, the great Tengu Kurama leaps into action. Those who do not cherish nature have no right to enter this mountain. Take that, great leafy whirlwind. Pfft, I didn't even think they would fall into the river in just their... Oh, I'm laughing so hard, my sides. Ah, Risuzo, don't you worry, I've avenged your house. Now let's go look for a new home for you. Ah, hard day's work punishing others. What's wrong? Tanukichi and Risuzo? Behind me? What's behind me? Master! It's not what you think. I wasn't doing anything bad. I was just punishing those scoundrels who were harming the mountain. And that's why I had no choice but to sneak off with your dress and fan. It's not my fault. Play is truly the best form of training, but sometimes one needs a bit of discipline. Punishment that may not be quite so fun. That's actually a really fun story.
Just an entire ass account of her day.
Uh-huh. Aralia-shaped manju. Oh, I love manju. It's the Valentine's Day one. Sweet chocolate wrapped in soft castella batter and baked in a mold to make a delectable product. And filling it with chocolate is just so original. Not really, but you know what? Kudos to you for trying. confection is shaped like a paper plant, a leaf often called a tengu's fan. It absolutely does not resemble the maple leaf. To be perfectly clear, it has nothing to do with the confection famous in Hiroshima Prefecture at all. Somebody's insistent.
Just like a close-up of anime food. I love that these are sometimes anime food, other times it's chocolate Usumi
Is that... I don't know if this is true, but I think behind it, what's in the green pitcher is a kuradashi green tea. I think it's that ice brewing method I told you about, where you brew it in ice, which is a Japanese method of brewing tea. Apparently it creates a sweeter tea.
I need to try that method sometime.
Yeah, apparently it's sweeter without having to add sugars, and it removes the bitterness of, like, sometimes burning the tea leaf.
Just takes extra time to prep.
Yeah, basically you just put it in a bowl with ice, stir it around, and then let it melt slowly. Yeah.
All right. And
Apparently
then,
great for summer.
All right. Benkei now. I don't know how many Benkei has. He's not the most popular servant, but also he's been around since the beginning.
Oh, shit.
What?
Stage 4.
Did we not look at this earlier?
No. At least I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember pulling this up for you either.
Yeah, that's cool.
Probably some of the most badass art in FGO.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. That is a whole ass thing. Cool. Cool.
Icons.
Icons.
Sprites. Yeah, you can see he actually
Oh, look, all of his weapons.
You can actually see his old sprite, too, here. Mm-hmm. If it'll come.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, that's not his old sprite. That's just him with a mask on.
It's an Oni mask, too. Remember he was called Oniwaka?
Yeah.
As a kid? Yeah.
Do we have his old sprite? Yeah. So this is what you see, the little chubbier,
yeah,
almost chibi look. What? What? What?
Oh,
when does this happen?
It's a chibi.
When the fuck did this happen?
I love it. I don't know. I don't care. It's great. Huh. Oh, look, there's an expression sheet with him and his mask.
I feel like these might be the upcoming Halloweens.
Oh, it actually...
The mask has facial
No, it does not change. No, it doesn't. They're the same. All of them.
This one has its mouth open.
Yeah, behind it. Jesus.
It's like that shirt. You know the one.
Yes. He's got a dual figure. Yeah. Oh, so there's a couple.
We'll click into these, because
yeah,
not all of these are...
You don't need to click into the next one, because we already opened it.
Yep.
Alright. Oh, that's epic. Gojo Ohashi. So that's the bridge encounter. This is not my past, I've merely dreamt it, but there's no question it took place. A young warrior, nimble as a bird, and a warrior monk that followed him like a tornado. An epic adventure, and the meeting of the two that everyone knows. Yeah. This is the fight at the bridge.
And again, calling to the fact that it wasn't him.
Yeah, I do like the art here.
Yeah, Benkei, and you see
stylized.
Ushiwakamaru in the background there.
Yeah. Love this. Once again, that's actually referring to a specific art print. An old one. Yeah. Of course, he had no subscription list. Benkei took out a skull, called it a subscription list, and started reciting it. He stood with unwavering resolve as his voice echoed through the Ataka gate. Glorious. Holy fucking shit.
So you don't know the other
wrestling.
here,
No, I do not.
And you get the point.
Yeah, I get the point.
Now, close your eyes and I'll see if the description spoils anything. We're good.
Okay. You're two mighty fighters, a match with great pride. Two guardian gods. Okay.
What up?
The other guy had a tail. No, he did! Did you not catch that?
I didn't, but I'll believe you.
Do you know who the other servant is?
Yes.
So it probably makes sense that he had a tail.
Actually, no.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fascinating. Blank temple solicitation book with Benkei's autograph. A Valentine. Jesus fucking Christ. No use for it, or so it said. The word "buy" makes it suspicious. exciting! Wait, open that up bigger.
It's a magazine.
Yeah, it is. My goodness. Look at this hipster-ass bitch. There's a brief fun in traveling aimlessly. However, the real pleasure is to let your feet guide you to the place your heart desires. Sitting on the stone, Musashibo Benkei took a note. With a book full of dreams in one hand, he wonders where he should head to this time. I like this. This is cool.
So Taira probably doesn't have as many because Taira's much newer. Probably. This is also a fan favorite, so...
Taira's awesome. We like Taira. Wait, go back to St. Graph's. Number 4.
We saw this one.
I know, but I like it.
Yeah. Even with the horny design.
I like the horny design. Because this is an adult age horny design.
This is unambiguous.
Exactly. I don't feel bad about this.
Yeah, you actually have a clear shot of some of her other NPs.
Oh, that looks so cool. That looks so fucking cool. God.
Wait, is this... Yeah.
Chibi! It's so cute. Does she have a... Oh. Oh. Wait. The eyes. One is Benkei, one is Taira?
So this one's
Look
probably...
at the faces. That one's Taira.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
Ushi with Taira in control mode.
Yeah.
You can see this is definitely Ushi's eyes
Yeah.
and her expressions closer.
Yeah. But that's
That-
a beautiful piece of art, too.
She's also blood and beat up. I'm gonna feel sad, and I know it.
And really covered. I mean, that's nice. Also, more traditional samurai armor covering everything.
Silhouette.
Fucking...
I don't know.
Why are you just opening random shit? Okay. Wait, open that. That looks cool.
That's probably a CG from in-game.
Oh, looks good. Cute!
Alright, so there's only 3
Oh,
of us.
okay. Yeah. I do like number 3. I cannot wait to get to it.
I wonder why you like number 3.
Okay, Azumaru. It's the beloved sword of the heroic spirit Taira No Kagekiyo. Originally T.H.E passed down, so this was the story. Living lord who touches it would not come out unscathed. When Kagekiyo takes it, I would have to be greatly cautious of it and keep my distance. However, as long as she remains Yoshitsune, she would not let any harm come to her master. There's talk about how even Kagekiyo herself is being quiet these days. Interesting. Aw, Genpei's rice cracker. Is she giving the gift as Kagekiyo or as Yoshitsune? She was stressed by this problem, and after being consulted, she decided to make it with both the Genji and Heike motifs. So it became like this. Indeed, it's both Genji and Heike. I'm thankful for the food. Go up. Oh yeah, you're right. One's Genji, one's Heike. Awesome. Love this.
Okay.
Do I know that character?
No.
Cool. Love this. There's no way in hell that the physics of that bikini top work, but honestly, it's hot enough that I don't care.
Hang on, I'm gonna see if it spoils. It does not.
Cool. It's said that somewhere in the world there exists a sandy beach tinted a coral color. The scene looks like a dream, especially with those two non-humans laying down side by side. Perhaps it is indeed an illusion, one that will disappear in the bubbles of summer.
So yeah, that is Ushiwakamaru. We'll go ahead and end the video on this design here. Just pull back up to Kagekiyo, because that is clearly your favorite.
It is very much my favorite. I like this design. Yeah.
So any last thoughts here?
Much like with the last one, I'm really liking some of the Japanese servants we've been doing recently because they're sticking really close to like historical sourcing and stuff like that. So there's a lot for me to dig my teeth into. And I'm actually learning a lot by reading up on these. I mean, because here's the thing. I don't have to go as far as, reading the Gikeki or reading the Heike Monogatari or the Pillow book or anything like I don't need to do that. Or the Mahabharata.
You could just skim the Wikipedia if you really wanted to.
I could just skim the Wikipedia, but,
This is a chance to actually research other cultures' stories.
Exactly. And as like an anthropology and history major, even if this isn't necessarily like what's going to be my chosen area of study, doesn't mean it's disconnected from what I do study, As That's one of the things about anthropology is everything should and can be looked at holistically. So, comparative, cross-culturally, analyzing how things happen in different places at different times. I mentioned this to you somewhere else too, and I've got this vague idea in my head that I kind of want to write like some sort of paper on it, like maybe for like a big thesis in a class where I get to like pick my own topic. But I would love to write an academic paper about the retention of knowledge of mythological and historical figures in the modern day by use of modern media to repopularize them. Because it's not just this, obviously, but there are other things like things like the Merlin TV show or like historical TV shows like The Crown, stuff like or not The Crown, but like the Catherine of Aragon shows like that, where we're repopularizing historical figures in the modern day using modern media. And even if we're getting things wrong, people are still like learning. What?
So I'm sure we'll get back to this when we do his episode. But have you ever heard of the Astolfo effect?
No.
So it's not actually submitted into an academic journal, but it was written in an academic style. Mm-hmm. It's a person who goes online and collected data from Fate servants to see like what the factors in for when you're looking up that character's name without referencing Fate at all into Wikipedia, or not Wikipedia, into Google, is the first thing that comes up, or is on that first, like in the first few results, are you going to see Fate? Or are you going to see the actual historical or mythological source?
See, I'm
or the Wikipedia page.
I'm more interested in the idea that, 90... I'm going to be honest here, and maybe this is an unfair assumption to be placing on you. But you're not a history or anthro major, so I would have made the blanket assumption that a good 70% of the characters in Fate you just would not know more about other than a casual mention. Especially the figures,
Here and there, yes.
Like there are definitely ones you would know, right? Like Arthur and stuff like that. But, there's a lot of servants in Fate that aren't people who we talk about a whole... Like Paracelsus von Hohenheim. Who the fuck talks about Paracelsus von Hohenheim? Quirinius? Quirinius was literally forgotten during the time of Rome and replaced by a different trio of major gods. Nobody remembers Quirinius anymore, except for people who play Fate and study that kind of thing. It's interesting because, this is promoting some sort of retention of, historical and mythological characters and figures. You might not be retaining true events necessarily. I'm not saying Fate's going, 100% on accuracy here, but there is an element that it is kind of retaining and repopularizing, certain stories. That wouldn't have been, and spreading others around the world. I mean, it's definitely indicative of the Gikeki. There's only been one translation into English ever.
And in Japan, that's one of the more famous stories.
Yeah, and yet in the Western world, it's only been published ever once. It's sold by Stanford University Press for an absurd price, so it's the kind of book that only college students would know about or get their hands on, or professors or people studying. But yet, there's an entire generation of people who have heard of Ushiwakamaru and Benkei and Taira No Kagekiyo because of Fate. And there's a lot of things right, a lot of that was genuine real-life lore, or connected to it. I have to admire that, I might not have at the beginning, but 36, 37, we're at 36, 37 of these episodes in. It's fascinating just how much we're kind of communicating across the world using this literal one anime gacha game. Whoever the fuck would be talking about Kama outside of India and people studying the Mahabharata or Ramayana? Who the fuck would be discussing Florence Nightingale if they weren't studying modern British history or medical history?
My favorite are the ones that are explicitly characters that the story doesn't even pay much attention to, like Mandricardo.
Yeah, right. Who the fuck cares? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter, but it does. I mean, in a way, this is... Here's the thing. With the online... Obviously, with the way that we kind of live online these days, it's hard for things to disappear off the internet entirely. But it does become harder to find things. You know, the more things get added to the internet, it becomes harder to find things that aren't very well known. So, like, for example, right, if I look up Ushiwakamaru in Google, the first 4 results are going to be Fate. But the 5th is going to be Minamoto no Yoshitsune.
Do you want to go into an incognito tab and test that out?
Yes.
How do you go incognito on this?
3 dots by new incognito window. Type in Ushiwakamaru.
I just typed in Ushiwakamaru, didn't I? Ushiwakamaru. Oh, yeah.
Go down. 4 results.
1.
2, 3, 4. Minamoto no Yoshitsune.
We also did get one that wasn't Fate here.
Yeah, but that's a person.
Yeah.
It's the founder of, that's a chef. The restaurant's called Ushiwakamaru.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that when I searched it. But yeah, you have to admit, it's up there, you know? But yeah, no, wow, this another honkin' episode.
Yeah.
Big honkin', but a lot of our episodes are going to be really long going forwards, just because the more I get into it, the more...
We'll see on the next one, I think.
Yeah.
But I guess, why don't we hint at the next one here? I remember it off the top of my head. Do you?
Yes.
So, I guess our little end of episode verbal hint for today is going to be that the next servant also, just like Ushiwakamaru and Benkei, features in the Babylonia anime. So we will see you next time with whatever the fuck that is. We haven't decided yet. We're figuring it out. I'm kidding.
Like, comment, subscribe.